Hello Canterbury, it is Friday the 15th of August. Welcome to Canterbury Live. Well, last night some of the CTV family headed along to the Christchurch Casino. Next week is the New Zealand Poker Champs and last night was a media event and it was all about raising funds for charity. So everyone got a table, some chips, and we're playing poker, or trying to play poker, or I was, but when you've got Mike King sitting beside you, poker shark, it's not really going to happen. But proud to say that there was 3 seats from CTV at the final table. One of those belonged to Dave, who's a partner of one of the producers of Canterbury Live, Vanessa, and Nick Henry, and Janice Gray, the dame herself. She was there. At the end, it came down to 2 players, Nick Henry and Scott Razor Robinson, and they decided to actually split the pot. So they each got $4,000 for their charities. So Child Cancer and Heart Kids Canterbury benefited from it. It was a wonderful night, so thank you to the Christchurch Casino. And yes, next week is the Poker Champs in town. Well, coming up on today's show, we have quite a creative show because all of our guests have some creative element about them, and I'm very excited that we have Nick Paris here. He's movie buff, he is everything about films. He's here to talk about the film festival, but I do meet one of the directors, and that is Sarah Cordery, and she's the director of Notes to Eternity. So I look forward to hearing all about her movie. But first up, it's a bit of a family affair in a wonderful way. They have brought to print a beautiful book. It is Anna and the Whale. I'm joined by Susanna Kenton, the author, thank you, and her beautiful nieces. We have Isis Kenton-Doe and Demeter Kenton-Doe. Welcome to Canterbury Live.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's get to it. What was the experience that inspired you to write this book, Susanna?
Well, you know, like a lot of people after the earthquakes in Christchurch, my partner and I needed to get away. So we decided to go whale swimming in Tonga. It's one of the few places in the world where you can swim with humpback whales. And while we were there, an amazing thing happened. A baby humpback whale became stranded on a beach, and nobody knew whether the whale was going to live or die. And so I found myself with a group of people trying to rescue it. And I'd done a workshop with a lady in Christchurch called Faye, who's an animal communicator. And I thought, oh, what do? You know, how do you rescue a whale? So I sat down next to it and I put my hands on it to sort of do some hands-on healing. And when I did, this whale opened its eye and looked into mine. And it took my breath away to be in the presence of such a majestic creature. And the whole experience was so deeply moving to me that I felt I really had to share it in some way. So as soon as I got back home, I started to write this book. And then I thought, oh, I'd really like to illustrate it. And it happens that in my family, I have 2 nieces who are 12 years old, who I'm really proud of. And ever since they've been probably about 6 years old, they have drawn beautiful animal pictures and made animal sculptures. And so I approached them to see if they would help me with the book.
Demeter, what did you say when Auntie or Aunt Susanna asked you to take part in this? Yeah. Was it daunting?
No, it was very exciting.
That's great. And to do it with your sister as well. So Isis, was it a wonderful experience to share this with your aunt?
Yes, it was very exhilarating.
But I think in the beginning for them, it was a bit challenging because they came back to me after they'd started. They sat about and they got their paints out and they started painting. And then they realised, what did you realise about whales?
They're sort of just like, we thought they were a little bit like boring because they're like big and grey, but at the end of the project we found it very interesting.
Well, if I can show illustrators, there's certainly nothing boring about your illustrations at all. I particularly love this one with the heart, you know, the image there. And who is the young girl that's on the whale there?
That's Anna, and what's really interesting is we found that when we got the pictures together and laid them out, all of the Annas looked quite different. Some were quite old. One looked a little bit like a rugby player, and there was a bit of a mismatch. So my brother Aaron, we'd taken some photos of the girls, and I said, you know, I would love Anna in the book to look like you guys. I mean, I don't think we could do better. So he took these photographs of them and photoshopped them into the images and made them look like drawings and paintings and melded them together.
How beautiful.
So it's really been an interesting process. But one of the things the girls said to me is they said, Sus, could we add cats into the pictures? And I said, well, cats on a South Pacific island. Okay, if you can find a way to do that, do. And then they had to face the challenge. For instance, Demeter had to face the challenge. In one of the pictures, it was an underwater scene.
Oh, right.
So how did you overcome that with the cats?
I gave them snorkels and so they're snorkeling.
It's that creative free spirit, I think, of youth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Isis, who do you think is the right person? Who do you think should be reading Anna and the Whale?
Maybe like people from 9 to 12.
Right.
In that area.
I like it. And what do you think they'll take away from it, Tamita, from reading it?
They probably will like animals a little bit more and feel a little more connected.
Well, Susanna, with the book though, some of the profits will go towards the Sea Shepherd. What is the Sea Shepherd?
Yeah, the Sea Shepherd is
organisation?
an organisation that helps to rescue and save whales, and we feel very passionately about donating a percentage of the profits of the book to the Sea Shepherd. Another organisation here in New Zealand that we just love is Project Jonah. That's right, yeah, projectjonah.org.nz, and they train people to rescue stranded whales. So we're actually there. They've given us a gift voucher for our book launch for somebody to be able to be trained up in Christchurch. I think it's the 15th of February to become a marine mammal medic. So when a whale gets stranded, then those people are sent to whatever area of New Zealand the whale is.
We just talked about a launch. There has to be a party, surely.
There is a launch party. And the beauty of it is that it's being held at the Lotus Hut restaurant. And they have very graciously donated the place for the launch. And what has really moved me about this project and us is that people have been so generous and kind of brought their own hearts to it. The story is about a girl and a whale who join hearts. And for instance, a production company in town, Tim and Harley at Ruffles Production, they created the most beautiful book trailer for us, and they did it pro bono, and it's on our website, annaandthewhale.com, and it's just spectacular. We didn't even know what a book trailer was, you know, it's like a movie trailer, but for a book. And another wonderful thing, we had Erin step in to be our publicist, who's never done publicity before, but she's training to be an event manager. And so she's brought her heart to the project too. So it's really this kind of feeling of community that we're all bringing our gifts to.
Yeah, which is
pretty
great.
exciting.
You've actually co-written a book before though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've written 6 books altogether. Yeah, in fact, again, a family affair. My first book was with my mother.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, so these girls are almost teenagers.
And exactly, continuing that family affair.
Tradition.
So girls, Demeter, is this steered you maybe to a career?
Yeah, I feel like I sort of want to like be like an illustrator or author.
How fantastic.
Both, huh, maybe.
Yeah.
And Isis, yourself?
Yeah, I would quite like to maybe be an artist when I'm older.
I think that's wonderful, and with these genes, I'm sure we're going to see much more.
They already have their own website and sell their own paintings and things, so it's like this generation just
Can't
blows us
stop
away.
them. And at 12 years of age, can you believe it, and have that creativity? It's wonderful. Thank you. Congratulations on Anna and the Whale. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for joining us.
Thank you.
Stay with us after the break. He's in, Nick Paris.
Al Jazeera News. International news right off the satellite, bringing you up-to-the-minute coverage of world events. Al Jazeera News. Weekday mornings at 6 o'clock. Right here on CTV.
Undergone home renovations? Looking for that special something to complete a room? Look no further than the Hitching Post. Their extensive range ensures you can find that special something. From plasma cut metalwork, to candles, artwork, weather vanes, or even a customised gate. So come on down to the Hitching Post, 722 Marshland Road.
Spectacular rugby being played in the Press Cup 2014. Get your copy. DVDs available. Call right now, $29.95.
Warm yourself up with a delicious wintry meal at Hinton's Restaurant and Vineyard. Let the flavours of the country linger in your mouth long after your plates and glasses have been cleared. Enjoy an afternoon of comfort and class with great people. Hinton's Restaurant and Vineyard.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Have you seen something you like? You can purchase a copy of CTV's own shows so you can watch them again and again. So give us a call on 3777 033 and order a copy today.
There's a general election in September. If you didn't get your enrolment update pack, then you're not enrolled to vote. To get an enrolment form, go to elections.org.nz or free phone 0800 36 76 56.
Southern Newsweek is an Otago-based news bulletin. Produced locally in Dunedin, it's your chance to catch up on everything that's happening in the community. Southern Newsweek, Saturday at 6:30 p.m. and repeated Sunday at 10 a.m. right here on CTV.
To call this man a film critic, really, it's not that much of a snazzy title. Anything about films, he knows everything. No pressure, Nick.
Oh, it's all in the eyes of the beholder. all I wish is that I had all the model and decorum and tranquility of Susanna Kenton. I'm an overstressed, over-caffeinated publicist right now, but Susanna, I want something, whatever you've got, I want. Oh. Anyway, there we are.
Hey, look, the film festival, it's on its way, it's going. Tell me, is it better than ever?
Oh, absolutely. There's 91 films. There's a huge amount this year, more than ever. And there's no one thread going through. So, you know, it's got everything for all ages from 8 to 80, quite frankly. So this is a record for the amount of films we've had in Christchurch.
So how did they manage to cut them down, though, to 91? I mean, crikey, that's a lot anyway, but I can't imagine how many.
Well, Auckland have 150, and, you know, we've got a larger population, ethnic communities up there, but certainly it's hard to do it justice or even get across most of those. But 90, I think, is a nice number, and we're happy with it. And there's a lot of local content in there, and that's the bedrock of a film festival, as far as I'm concerned, is the local content, you know, made by New Zealanders for New Zealanders.
And it's really cool seeing these first-time directors bringing in their first feature films.
And, you know, the gestation of some of these directors, they almost mortgage their homes and, you know, have 10 years of their life devoted to these projects. So it's really important that the fulcrum, the bedrock of these screenings are handled in a great way, and this is where the NZIFF step in.
Yeah,
you know,
awesome.
take Auntie and the Star People, for instance, which is Jean Watson, the author, Gerard Smythe, a local documentarian from Winner City Falls. Well, he thought he had to get out of Dodge after that film, so he buggered off to India to make this film about Jean Watson, who sold a home in Aro Valley and ran an orphanage up there and provided the land for it. Okay. And interspersed with her philanthropic work, you also learnt of her relationship with Barry Crump.
Random?
Yeah, she married Barry Crump for 10 years and, you know, dispelled a few myths about the man. You know, Barry didn't even like rugby. Barry Crump, that... So, you know, the bushman.
Who would be the epitome of who would be watching, sitting there.
You think so?
You know?
Yeah. So there's these lovely little delightful things you never knew about Barry, but also it's really about Jean Watson and her work with Indian, the impoverished in India.
Oh, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Any standouts for you, Nick?
Oh, well, Notes to Eternity.
I know it's awful to ask the question. It's a
Notes to Eternity. Of course, you'll hear about that in a minute. But Sarah has spent 10 years of her life on this project about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It's not a History 101 exercise. It's something that is available for all. You don't need to be an academic to understand it, and I think she's done it in a very graceful way, and it's very character-driven. So I'm looking forward to that tonight at 7:50 and tomorrow at 11:30.
Cool.
Others, Voices from the Land looks at the ancient Maori instruments brought out from the silence of museum cases and into bush settings in the South Island, whereby Richard Nuns uses the cochlear of a blue whale or the ostrich femur and reperforms these Maori ensemble music pieces.
Oh my goodness!
In caves and in bush settings in the South Island.
So natural acoustics.
Yeah, totally. And you know what? The missionaries, when they came and saw all these instruments, think, no, these are scary. You know, we don't want them. Yeah, have a violin, play some Chopin. So basically, those
it's much
instruments,
more civilised than using a bone.
That's colonisation at its worst point.
Yeah,
I tell
exactly.
you. Yeah. So there we are. Look, it's all things to all people.
Do you have to be alternative, be just a black coffee drinker to go along and watch these movies?
Hell no. But it's all, it's all about fishing deeper in the pond, And, Marvel do what they do well in multiplexes. But really, if you scratch beneath the surface, you'll find a plethora of hidden gems and deep-dwelling fish.
Any surprises?
Well, the surprises for me are the performance of the New Zealand films. Erewhon, about the Samuel
beautiful.
Butler.
Yeah, cinematography.
Totally. And the film Richard Linklater's Boyhood, which looks at, it's kind of like 42 Up and Child of Our Times. It looks at one lad right from his 7 or 8 year old period going through the rites of passage. Those surprises and surprise hits of the film festival. So, and a local boy, Jared Johnston, with Housebound with Rima Tuata, has come up with a slasher zombie flick all set in a house in New Zealand. So, hey, there we go,
Crikey.
Yeah.
And let's go side...
And I'm casting calling for that because I've got a big slit in my head. I walked into a door frame.
Nick wasn't going to say anything, really, but now let's just go zoom in.
No. I missed out on the casting for Housebound, the horror, so there we are.
Okay, and very exciting news. We were just talking before. Alice, of course, Alice in Videoland, and apparently...
Yeah, we're moving into Rangiora. We're successful in the tender of that. The excitement is palpable bringing out good quality film to Rangiora.
Hey, it's very cool for us North Canterburyites that you're moving out there. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, good luck.
Pleasure,
a lot of
Andrew.
films to watch.
Hope to see you. See you front row.
Yeah, cool.
Big time.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, stay with us after the break. As Nick did promise, we do meet the director of Notes to Eternity, Sarah Cordery.
Europe in concert. A new, fantastic international artist performing every week. Saturday evening at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
Action Removals, offering short or long-term storage facilities, full packing services, comprehensive rates, all fully insured and with 6 vehicle sizes to choose from. Earthquake repairs? Action Removals pack, move, store and return your valuable possessions stress-free. Action Removals, a family business that has been operating in Christchurch for over 10 years. Action Removals, your one-stop removal service on time, every time. 0800 222 526.
There's a general election in September. If you didn't get your enrolment update pack, then you're not enrolled to vote. To get an enrolment form, go to elections.org.nz or free text your name and address to 3676.
Warm yourself up with a delicious wintry meal at Hinton's Restaurant and Vineyard. Let the flavours of the country linger in your mouth long after your plates and glasses have been cleared. Enjoy an afternoon of comfort and class with great people. Hinton's Restaurant and Vineyard.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measure and quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom. 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Arts 21 showcases the vast creative talent and minds that are making a name for themselves in Europe and beyond. Think outside the square with Arts 21.
Producer, director, editor, I guess makes the cups of teas as well, don't you, Sarah?
Driving, taxi driver, you name it.
Sarah Cordery, congratulations on this wonderful movie. And as Nick was saying, it's been 10 years in the making.
Yeah, it's
mammoth.
Not 10 years full-time, but,
but still.
14 overseas shoots and 1 in Wellington. But yeah, it's been a mission.
It has been a mission. And the movie is Notes to Eternity. It's a beautiful, beautiful title. So tell us about the actual essence of the movie.
Well, for me, it's an impressionistic view of the Israel-Palestine conflict. It's through the voices of these 4 characters, Norman Finkelstein, Noam Chomsky, Robert Fisk and Sarah Roy. So it's a very character-driven film. I think it's been portrayed as a thoroughly political film in the brochure, but from my perspective, it's more impressionistic view of the conflict. It's not a 101, as I think Nick was just saying. You know, it either presupposes some knowledge of the conflict or people suspend their disbelief and they go on this journey with the characters. And I think people don't need to know about the conflict. I think it talks about conflict in general and why we do what we do as human beings. And yeah, it's got this wider perspective, which I think...
So what inspired you to actually, for this to be the reason for the film? I mean, you said like 10 years of off and on at the movie. Your thoughts or your views could have changed, but you still kept on track.
I feel a bit like Chomsky, actually. He says his views on the conflict haven't changed since he was 5 years old, and I guess the bigger picture hasn't changed for me. I think a natural springboard for a film like this is, activists would go and make a film like this, and I didn't start life as that, and I'm not one now.
Yeah.
So I think it's, it was living there. I lived there for a couple of years on and off, and I saw a disjunct between what I'd heard in the news media and what I was seeing on the ground, and I just actually went at it as a researcher. And that's what
it evolved.
It evolved.
Now you draw from 3 Jewish characters, don't you?
Yes, I do. It's interesting, I think, to have a Jewish perspective. People who are highly critical of Israeli policy, but 2 of them also are children of Holocaust survivors.
Right.
And so it's kind of these sacred cows where it's unexpected, I think, for many people that these people would be so critical of Israeli policy. They're not anti-Israel by any measure, but they are very critical. All 4 characters are.
So how do they set the tone then? How do they set the tone then for the film? Having 3 different characters, how do they merge together?
Well, it's like I made 4. The reason why it took so long as well, it's almost like I'm making 4 films because I keep their stories, their narratives completely separate. They don't interact with one another.
Okay.
So that's, people have to go and see the film to see how that plays out, but yeah.
It's fantastic. And I can't believe it, but it's pretty amazing. You've got the renowned critic of Israel, Robert Fisk. That's amazing. For him to be part of the film, isn't it?
He's a wonderful person to travel around. He's a fantastic character, and he very much brings it alive.
Exactly.
You'll see him singing and whatever in the film.
So, going along, as Nick said, it's open to everyone in the community to go along.
Yeah.
What are you actually hoping, though, that people are going to take away from actually watching your film?
Well, I hope they enjoy it as a film, as an aesthetic object in its own right. But I think what's missing from this conflict is the wider context. And I think I know the film is affecting people. They're saying, it's kind of haunting people after the fact, so they're thinking about it. I'd like the issues to sort of percolate and for people just to go away and quietly think about it rather than have pamphlets pushed in their face. I think that alienates people. I think the ingredients are there for people to form a deeper understanding, not only of this conflict, but other conflicts that we're engaged in at the moment.
And digest it in their own way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And take away their own interpretation.
Yeah.
So it's playing this evening?
It is. Yes.
At 7:15. And are you taking along a group with you to the film, or who's going to celebrate it with you?
I've got some, my father's family is actually from Christchurch, so I have some family in Christchurch who are coming to the film, and also the film festival people. Nick will be there, and so there'll be a Q&A afterwards, so yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's an opportunity then. It's wonderful. Well, it's been such a feat, and now has it come to an end? Or is this the beginning?
I think it's the beginning.
Else?
It's the beginning, I think. I'll submit the film to overseas festivals. I think there's a great interest in Noam Chomsky and Robert Fisk in particular. I will make another film, probably a drama.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll ever go to television, or do you think you'll stay with film as a medium?
I'd like to stay with film. I think this film, maybe Maori television would be an obvious choice for it. But I think it'd have to be shorter for television. It's a long film, and
So is it time now to just reflect and to take some time out about what to do next, or you think you'll just go straight into the next project then?
Well, I have to finish up with this one. There's quite a bit to do still, so
It's work in progress. That's
wonderful.
Well, one thing I'd like to ask of you, what do you like to watch in films? It's quite, I don't normally ask a director, they make the movies, but do you like to watch movies yourself?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I went to see Boyhood. I was dragged out of it for this by Nick, but I only saw 3/4 of it, but I've seen a couple in Wellington during the festival. not just the ones that were available around my schedule, but yeah, I'm interested in European films, and also somebody in the audience asked me what film had impressed me recently, and I only recently got to see Samson and Delilah.
Oh, great.
Which was a fantastic film, and yeah.
Brilliant, well, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Congratulations once again. Tonight, 7:15, Northlands, Hoyts. You can see Notes to Eternity, fantastic. Join me on Monday. We have Paul Woffram, another director from the New Zealand International Film Festival, and it is Monday and Man Cave. Have a great weekend.